Hey everybody, thank you for joining the channel today. Man, it's Friday, a great day to be alive. Here with a very special guest, Jasmine Wooton. How you doing today, Jasmine?
I'm doing so well. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm doing good as well, Just glad to have you on the show. I know we got a very great conversation today. It's about sports and how sports prepares you and your business for success. I can't wait to get into the conversation, but let me go ahead and do your intro before we hop into that. So, Jasmine Wooton is a system strategist, operator, and the founder of Sys to Win. She helps founder led businesses turn decision making into operational systems so the business can execute consistently without the founder being involved in everything. With a background spanning in tech, operations, and consulting, Jasmine has worked inside fast growing companies and with independent founders who look successful on paper but are stuck in constant involvement. Her work focuses on the layer most people miss, how decisions actually move through a business. She's the author of Date Your Business, Build Systems that help you fall back in love with it one day at a time, where she introduces a counterintuitive framework for building businesses that don't break when the founder steps away. Jasmine, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing today though? Overall.
um I'm honestly I'm feeling great. I am where I'm at in the world. It is summertime, so I am loving life. I know the East Coast is getting hit with a lot of snow right now, and it feels very nice to be able to walk to the beach. Let me just say that.
Wait, beach, summertime. Where are you when it's living
I
like
am
that?
on I'm on the other side of the equator. I am in Peru. And I've been here for some time. It's just a nice way to just relax, pour into self-care. I'm very deep into self-care. I'm always pouring into myself, but one thing that I really like. I'm originally from LA, so I love the sun. Whenever the snow comes on the East Coast, I'm like, oh why did I leave California? So this has been just a little break from winter time, and just a way to bring in the new year and bring it in slow and at my own pace in an environment that feels good for me.
Oh, that's dope. That's lit. Peru. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never been over there. So, what's your favorite part about the trip so far? What have you enjoyed the most?
Um, I think my favorite part about summer, which is why I chose this area, is that you can just be outside. And
Hmm.
so being able to walk everywhere, bike everywhere has been a really beautiful way to explore the city. Um, One thing that I like to do when I travel is just either walk as far as I can or bike as far as I can or take a Uber as far as I can and then walk back and like explore the city that way. And so my favorite part has honestly been somewhere a tie between the food and the art that I've come across in just meandering through the city for sure.
Okay, that's nice. Very adventurous. Get a chance to go see the beach, see the artwork. I know you taking a lot of pictures too, right?
You know what's so crazy is I think I have one video because I realized, okay, I haven't really taken any videos since I've been here. And I did a photo shoot when I first got out here. That was about it. In terms of like the scenery and all that stuff, I really haven't. I have just been like super present and just enjoying. And honestly, the driving here is a little interesting. So when I'm on the bike, I'm not touching that phone. When I'm crossing the street, I'm not touching that phone. So yeah, I have not taken too many pictures. I got like a little bit less than a week left. So actually, let me go ahead and put that on my list. Take some more pictures. Yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you had a photo shoot when you got there, that's really all you need. Them professional pictures gonna definitely go in the memory bank.
Right.
And we know that you used to play basketball. You was a hooper, and we know that basketball teaches awareness more than force. And I'm just wondering, how does that show up in the way that you lead today?
You know what's so interesting is I always tell people when I left sports, um, my goal was to figure out where I can be a point guard again, right? And one thing that I know about sports and being a point guard is there's a lot of like hidden responsibility that's going into that, right? And sports in general, it really, really, really like you have to recover, right? Even part of composure is recovery. Something goes left, you have to return to center. And so when it comes to awareness, I actually have a performance coach who teaches about growing your awareness of your body, catching all of those little things before they get to 100, right? Catching it at like 2 before it gets to 100 and you can manage, right? But in business, it's the same, right? Like there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of moving pieces, and your recovery is what is going to help you consistently return to center. That your self-care practice is what's going to help you return to center in business so that you are not moving just based off brute force, because that's not sustainable, right? Making decisions while composed, making decisions while you are feeling good and abundant versus like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Da 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 da, right? And it's like you notice like how people act in the fourth quarter, right? Are they composed? Have they been doing their recovery? Are they in center? And are they making choices based on what they've been practicing? Or do they choke at the free throw line or whatever the case may be because they don't really have enough reps in returning back to center? They don't have enough reps in that self-care.
Wow, no, that's a great point. I like that you mentioned the fourth quarter. I know in football, that's the only quarter. Hey, it's fourth quarter. Coach be like, "Hey, y'all, put them fours up." You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right,
it's it's crunch time. It's time to go. What happened in the
right.
first quarter, second quarter, none of that matters. It's just
Zero
is
zero.
are we gonna win in this quarter or not? Because that's all
Right.
that's gonna matter. So yeah, no, that was a great point. And yeah, I love those points. So when your uniform came off, what part of you stayed and what part had to evolve to succeed in business?
You know what's so interesting? I don't think any part of me left. I don't think any part of me really left. I think what was difficult at the time when I first took off my jersey is that I thought it had to leave. I thought that I had to take away what had grown to be my favorite parts of me, right? But like I was saying, like there's so many things in basketball, there's so many things in sports in general that are so directly applicable to life that really give you a different perspective on everything, right? One thing that I was not good in college in is I did a lot of physical recovery. I didn't do as much journaling. I didn't do as much breath work, right? And so those
Mhm.
are things that I added when I took my jersey off, but I definitely didn't take away, the court vision. Is what basically how I describe my business is like I have court vision. And so, yeah, I didn't take too much away, but I definitely added way more. I added way more self care. I added more so like solo dates. I added more pouring into myself. I added travel for the sake of travel, travel for the sake of curiosity, right? Because I knew when I came here, I had things that I wanted to do. Um, and I knew that being in a new environment that had art, that had music, that had good food, those things were going to spark curiosity in my brain that was going to take me further. Whereas when I was playing sports, it was, eat, sleep, breathe, hoop. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like if you got time for something else, it's school. Like right, you go to class, you go to practice, you go to the game. You go to class, you go to practice, you go to the game. So I still have that. I just put in way more time for myself so that those times where I am in practice, those times where I am in the game, I have more endurance. I'm happier. I'm fuller. I can make calm decisions, etc. So yeah, that's a good question though. Like, yeah, I'm actually curious to hear your answer to that same thing.
The same thing. First of all, I like your question. I'm gonna answer, but I just gotta say, for the people that don't know, because it'll be certain people, oh, I only watch football or I only watch basketball. The point guard is basically like the quarterback in football. So you basically were like the quarterback in what you did. So yeah, that's why I relate to what you said so much because we all know in football the quarterback is basically the leader of the team. If the quarterback isn't doing what he needs to do right, then we're all going to suffer from that. So it just shows the preparation you do have to have. And like you mentioned, just everything that goes into it. And if I was the answer, I would say the part that came off was really just the rushing factor. Cause sometimes in sports you do have to rush. You might have 3 minutes left and you gotta do everything to rush to get to that first down or try to score. So I would say I had to get rid of rushing to do things and learn patience more and learn just flowing with the universe and let certain things happen during the time that it's supposed to happen.
Right.
Sometimes in sports, I know in football we used to have that 2 minute drill at practice. You're throwing Hail Mary passes, all different types of plays in the playbook. But in business, yes, you do have to rush with certain things, but we should structure things so we don't even have to rush. You know what I'm saying? It should be
Yeah.
a certain type of system so we don't even have to do that. And
Yeah, my coaches always used to say be quick but no but don't hurry. And I feel like
exactly,
that has, you know what I mean? I don't know if your coaches said that to you too, but I feel like that's like a big thing for me too. It's like there are times where we will have to move fast. But I do try to stay away from rushing because rushing has that like that chaotic feeling. You know what I mean? Like yeah, there are deadlines in business, but I know what you mean. Like that 2 minute warning, like that feeling of like, as a point guard, you're always thinking time and score, time and score, time and score, time and score. You starting to get down to the end of the game and you're like weighing all of these decisions at once and like resisting that urge to rush. I feel like really you build that muscle, or where I'm building that muscle now is like off the court, right? I be trying not to even walk too fast, right? Because why are you rushing? Why am I rushing actually? Like,
for real.
yeah, like why am I moving so fast? Like I catch myself in that a lot too, like that rushing and that feeling like you gotta. Because I feel like also too when you play sports, there's not a lot of downtime.
True.
There's not a lot of downtime, but that is like LeBron spent $1 million on recovery. Like you have to find it if you want to sustain, and you have to find that recovery time. You have to create that recovery time if you want to have something with longevity.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. And the part of me I would say evolved from that is just the playmaking, knowing that every play isn't a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Every
Mm-hmm.
play, you might do the application, but you're not gonna hear back tomorrow. You might not even hear back till 3 months later, and you get that congratulations email. So it's just knowing that you have to trust the process. You might have found a play that's a first down play. It might get you a consistent first down, but it might not be that touchdown play. But we know that 10 first downs equals the touchdown. So
Exactly.
it's just enjoying the process more, not trying to force, a touchdown on every play type thing. And like you said,
That's
LeBron does spend $1 million on his body every year just to recover. Like they got to show you that recovery is worth more than just the game time. Same with business. You tired, you want to do it might be better for you to put that application to the side, wait till you do have the full energy, then submit it compared to just doing stuff when you don't feel fully energized.
1,000%. And when we talk about LeBron's recovery, I think there's a lot of people who talk about it like from a physical standpoint, and I think that is important as well, right? Like most of the, I won't say most of, but there's a lot of very visible and very successful business owners who are also extremely fit. So there's absolutely a physical part of recovery. I think what we don't hear them talk about enough is like the mental aspect of it too, right? The sleeping. I'm a personal solo date lover. I love to sit down with myself and do something that's been on my list that I haven't been able to get a friend to do. All of those things, right? Journal. I have my performance coach, and that like is part of the $1 million of recovery, right? Keeping my mind right and also keeping my body right as well, because yeah, like you're right. There are so many times between the rushing, between moving fast, trying to hit a home run on every play, trying to get a touchdown on every play, every single like there's that pressure sometimes as a business owner for it to work immediately, but it really is something that you do one day at a time. It is one day at a time. Like it running a business feels more like March Madness, like survive in advance. Like we got to get this win, and yes, it's a tournament, but we're only focused on this win today, and that's all we're gonna do. And then after that, we will reevaluate our next challenge and just leave it at that. That's all you got to focus on.
See, like it really sounds like you kind of reading my mind because you do have that athlete background. So it's not many people that's gonna be able to relate to this. But I did have a when I played in high school, I had a coach. He had something on the wall. He used to say like, "Win the day, win
Yes.
the day." Every day, that's all we're looking at as we go out to the field. Win the day, win the day. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like that's definitely something I took with me in business. Like a lot of times when you are starting a company, you're going up against billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies. If you're
Mhm.
focused on 3 months, 6 months down the road, you might just end up stopping just because you weren't focused on winning a day. But if you had that mindset every day, I'm gonna just go as hard as I can today, then you on a whole different type of timeline. We know in sports, hesitation costs you, but in business, rushing does, like we said. So
Mhm.
how did you really learn that difference to separate it?
Yeah, yeah, this is one of the like off the court practices that I really had to do. That was translating. It will translate into your business if you're not careful. When it comes to hesitation versus rushing, the way that you can tell the difference in business is by using a framework, right? And so when something comes up, when an opportunity comes up, right? Even you sending me an email and being like, "Hey, I'm about to drop this. Are you interested?" Right? It's less of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, right? And taking yourself through a framework. So when you think about if you're going to make a move, right? If you're thinking about whether any collaboration is going to be good, right? There are things that you're asking yourself. There might be four questions that you go through every single time to decide if an opportunity aligns with your business. It may take you 10 seconds to go through those four questions, but that's not rushing, right? A lot of time hesitation comes from lack of preparation, right? The hesitation is, oh my gosh, I'm not sure. And so you get to this point where you're starting to pause. When you have frameworks in your business and frameworks in your life, it becomes very clear what's right for you and what's not right for you. Like I feel like it's the same in a lot of things. Like it's even the same in dating, right? I go into a date knowing exactly what I'm looking for. So it's not going to take me 6 months to know if this person is right for me. Right. Because I have my framework and because I know I'm very clear on what I'm looking for, boom, it's the same in business. I have
Yeah.
my frameworks to make decisions, so I know exactly what I'm looking for. And the more reps I get, the faster I can move through that framework, which is how you build speed in business. Not just by quick yeses, quick yeses, quick yeses, because that feels like speed. But a lot of times, what it actually builds is like some chaos in your nervous system that like things are moving too fast. Things are moving too fast. Whereas I made, I went through my framework quickly. And so now I'm confident in that decision.
No, that's smart because it is a lot of people out here. They're just making decisions. Oh, I just want to see my calendar booked up whole time. Half the things that's on there is not making any sense. So yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I'm glad you have a framework, that you go through and allows you to make those decisions.
These frameworks are like super important as well because we're building businesses, we have teams, there are people who are being affected by the decisions that we make. So these frameworks actually protect us, protect our business, protect the people that we serve. And like I know that's super important to you because you're building community and wellness at scale. Like what do you do to make sure that you are protecting your people as you're still growing?
Really, I would say just focusing on the user's privacy. I know it's many apps out there. They don't even ask about privacy. Like even if we're talking like location basis, certain apps that show you the exact street you're on, exact
Crazy
location.
word.
Yeah. You know
Crazy.
what I'm saying? Like our target audience is like Gen Z and millennials. I'm actually a part of Gen Z as well as my other leaders with my team. So I feel like that's definitely a strong point for us, but also just focusing on the user's privacy and also just putting myself in their shoes, like would I be comfortable if somebody can see my exact location or certain things that we do have in the app as far as locations, things like that. I feel like it's just putting the user's privacy first, and also with mental health, it's just seeing how long people are using the platform. Me personally, I would feel better knowing that somebody actually got on Move Spot and got off Move Spot and made a move. Let's say they didn't even make a post, but they made a move. Like I'll be more happy with that than somebody who's just on the app, just posting and not, what I'm saying, getting out and utilizing their mental health. So yeah, that's definitely what I would say. Just growing it that type of way, thinking it from a user's aspect and not just from a owner aspect. Because at the end of the day, it's almost like a clothing designer. Like I do clothes too. I'm not going to design a shirt that I wouldn't wear myself, So it's kind of
Right.
like just having that mindset of putting the users first.
Yeah, because it's like wellness is so personal too. Like, if you're willing to share my location, what else are you, what else are you willing to share? What other private conversation are you, or private moment are you willing to share? And I think, especially with, something like Move Spot, where people are talking about mental health, like, I think your generation is definitely does a better job than my generation at having more open conversations about mental health. But just because you're open to talk about a topic, don't mean that your business needs to be everywhere, that you didn't intentionally put it. So I actually love to hear that. Privacy is so big in just in this digital world that we're in. Like, you just cannot afford to have an app that does not prioritize privacy.
That's a fact. And even now, with just all the legal things going on with certain companies that are having their users just addicted, it just makes you want to focus on that more. That was our mission coming through the door, but it's just seeing it shows that we were pretty much ahead of the curve. So yeah, I love that point. And we know it's something very powerful about consistency. So how has discipline shaped the way you move as a leader?
I mean, discipline, let me tell you, is everything. I don't even believe in the word motivation. Like, I really think it's fake. Like, somebody had to have just been like, you know what we should do? We should just make up a word, right? I feel like English is full of made up words anyway, so here we are. And I feel like motivation is one of those things, because motivation is so fleeting. I cannot count the number of times I didn't want to go to practice.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you know, you know, right? Not a single time that I also can think about a time that somebody, like, bested my effort either, right? Like, if you gonna score me, you everybody gonna get a couple buckets, cool. But it's not gonna be because I just rolled over and was like, well, you know what I mean? And so it's like, the discipline has to go throughout your entire life. Your coaches always say what they say, you can't just turn it on. You practice how you play.
Mm.
So, and like I said, like in college, the time that I had was so sports centered that I hadn't quite built a muscle of how do I have these same things off the court, right? I mean, I had great grades, and that was the discipline there, but outside of school in sports, I hadn't built that muscle. Once I left playing in college, once I left playing overseas, it was very important for me to continue discipline, but then expand it to multiple parts of my life, right? Because everything will bleed over. Everything will bleed over. You practice how you play. You get into real life, you stop playing sports, you realize every single part of your life is practice. So, am I disciplined in my diet? Am I disciplined in my self care? Do I keep missing my solo dates? Do I keep missing my money dates? Do I keep missing these things that I have, right? Am I skipping my workouts? Am I doing these things, right? All of those things, it seems like it's not part of business. It really does. And people are like, oh, yeah, well, I can be this great business owner, but then I can also be, as a person, kind of just whatever. Like, this is separate from business. Like, nah, in my business, I wouldn't do this, but like, it starts to bleed. It starts to bleed over little by little, whether you recognize it or not. And so, if you are somebody who is struggling with motivation, that makes sense because motivation is not real. But what you can do is start to build your discipline in small things, right? Do you wake up at the same time every day? Do you take breaks every day, right? My performance coach always tells us respect the damn timer. When you go to do a work block and that timer goes off, close that laptop and get up. That is discipline, right? We think discipline is working 20 hours straight, head down, in it, da da da. When discipline is really stopping and getting some water, right? Discipline is making sure that you have your gallon of water every day. Discipline is making sure that you go to bed on time. Discipline is making sure that you don't cancel on your friends, right? Because that time that you spend in joy, again, translates to your business, right? And so discipline and consistency, like they go hand in hand, but I think a lot of times we try to start too big, right? Discipline, like you said, it's not every single time scoring a touchdown, right? It's not even every single time getting a first down.
Mhm.
Sometimes you might lose some yards on the play. Discipline says we are actually going to still run the next play. Yes. We had a loss of yards, and that's okay. We're actually still going to run the next play. But sometimes what happens in life and in business is people find themselves losing yards, or the other team goes on a run, and it's just like, the game's over. Um, no. As long as I'm breathing, the game is still on, right? And we going into the buzzer. So yeah, discipline and consistency, it's throughout all aspects of life, and it's tiny. It's tiny, 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 tiny.
No, that's a fact. You know, they used to be like, "Oh yeah, it's not over till the scoreboard. It's just all zeros. That's when it's
Exactly.
over." And now you really had some great points on that too. And I just also agree with the discipline standpoint. You know, when you are coming from that sports background, it's just so normal to you. Like, okay, like you said, we are losing. We might be down 14, but it's like we playing like we only down or we up too. It's the
Exactly.
same type of mindset. So when you come from that, doing that for years on years, and then you get into business, you might take some losses, or it's not even no might. It's no successful business person you're ever gonna meet that never took a loss. You know, it's like kind of
Right.
crazy that people think that's even possible. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Like if I never played football, you would be talking to like a totally different person right now. I don't even know how I would be constructed right now if I never just played sports and really went through so much stuff. Like you already know certain injuries, body soreness, like even the mental health things that you go through that you just sweep under the rug just because you still like we have a game today. Ain't nobody the coach not trying to hear that today. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So everything you go through, that's mental and physical. When you transition to business, yes, you do have to keep your body right, still go to the gym, things like that. But it's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that do business that's out of shape too. So it just shows you that business is more so mental than sports
Mm-hmm.
is mental and physical. So if you transition from the mental and physical and you're in something that's more so mental and you already went through that, you definitely gonna be able to set yourself apart from other people that never
Yeah.
had that background.
Yeah. 1000%. And I feel like that's like such like a like almost like a double-edged sword, because if your mind is not right when you're playing, your body can still compensate a little bit for it. But once you lose that physical aspect where you can't just, my mind can be right, but you're not faster than me. You know what I mean? Like that provided like a buffer in sports that doesn't necessarily exist the same in business one to one. And so I think the what we do have over other folks and over people who didn't play sports is that we have a very, very, very clear understanding of what it looks like to get in the reps, right?
Mm,
So once you realize, okay, well, I could be having an off day, you know what I mean? Like I could have dropped my ice cream on the floor. But I am for sure stronger than you. And so if you thought you was gonna score on me, that's not gonna work, right? Physically. In business, it's like I'm having an off day and I have to be in a meeting, or I got to go close a deal. And you can't
Mhm,
necessarily physically best somebody, but what you do understand is that you probably practice that pitch multiple times, right?
mhm,
Or, you know, when you have, going back to what we were saying about consistency, right? If you know that to move your business, you need to start building systems, right? And so we also know that there's preseason and then there's the end of the year, right? So if I want to build systems, those are things that I start doing day by day. I have practice every single day. I'm not trying to do everything all at once. So even though I might have a bad day, because I know I've been putting in the reps, my mind now knows how to show up, right? And I have those reps and I have that muscle memory, but now it's not physical muscle memory, it's mental muscle memory to show up in a way that still works. So I think that is like our biggest advantage, is knowing that you can put in the reps, whether it be physical or mental, to carry you on days where you're not necessarily at your best.
yeah. Preseason, we outside. We on the
I
track.
mean,
We getting cone drills and we catching passes. Like we doing everything. We in the weight room. We might go twice every day just because it's preseason. But like you said, during the normal season, we don't do that. We
mhm,
focus more on the game. Focus more on winning. So yeah,
right.
you're right. You're right with the That was a great analogy, by the way.
Thank
Love
you.
that analogy. And we know, I know you mentioned music earlier, like with your trip in Peru. You mentioned some music, but we also know that athletes also live in rhythm training, recovery, and execution. So, how do you normally build that rhythm into business systems?
Yeah, rhythm. I hear this like talked about like in the mental health space too, as like your nervous system is also like your body's rhythm. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like it's very similar to that. But the building rhythm within your business and finding your own rhythm, I feel like is the key to being able to have a business that really represents you. And the only way that you can really do that and have a business that reflects your rhythm is to really dig deep and figure out who am I in abundance, right? Who am I when things are going well? Who am I, right? And a lot of that is like dating yourself. Like I spent a lot of time reflecting and being introspective and figuring out what feels good, right? There's this book that I read that was basically saying, we know work hard, play hard,
Mhm.
but we actually, the play is what allows us, our brains, to have the creativity and to be able to build the right ideas and all of those things. So as you're being introspective and as you're taking time to pour into yourself, I know, like, I feel like on the surface it sounds like this is taking time away from your business, but my clients who have been the most successful are the ones who are very deep in knowing themselves, and not just knowing their why, but knowing like what time of day do you thrive, right? I have clients who have meetings at 8 a.m., right? Their events are at 8 a.m. Why? Because that's when they thrive. And so because that's when they are thriving, that's a time, an environment, a setup, whatever that they thrive, it pours into their business like nobody. Like when I tell you it's like energetic, right? If they try to do that same event at 8 p.m. or 11 p.m. or whatever, it's just not the same. And so when it comes to building systems that have rhythm, it really starts with like dating yourself. And once you date yourself and you have that solo, like once you get that and you're starting to feel that, then you can start dating your business. And it's the same thing, those things flow in there. One thing that I've noticed, especially in this age of technology, is that people try to jump so quick to adding technology to their business before they have really locked in their own personal rhythm and their own essence. And then things all sound robotic because you didn't actually explore first. You just kind of were like, yeah, let's just go fast. Let's rush, let's do this, versus taking the time to slow down and really learn yourself so that you can put that into your business and your business can have your essence.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like you said, it's really more so about the details. If you don't thrive good at a certain time, why are you taking meetings at that time or scheduling
Right.
around that time? So yeah, I feel like yeah, that's why you a great consultant as well because you're actually focused on the details more so than just the surface things.
Yeah. How do you guys think about rhythm in terms of wellness?
I would say just constantly innovating. You know, like it's like you said, technology does move fast, so it's always something new. So it's always something new to be making. Like we might make a feature today, but it might not release till this summer. You know,
Hmm.
so it's just once you have that inspiration and you have that idea and you're in that flow state, you just create. Like if I feel like that's why I have to do multiple things. Like if I feel like expressing myself or just talking about business today, but I don't feel like necessarily working on the feature, then I want to do what I feel like doing, unless I just have to do it and it's something that's urgent for the moment. So yeah, I would say just consistently innovating. Like me, I'm in the flow state when I'm creating. Like right now, us doing this, like this don't feel like I'm doing work. When I'm sitting
Right.
down making a new feature, that doesn't feel like work to me, but it is things that you can profit from. So I would say for every business owner, that's really the goal. Like, what can I do that puts me in that flow state that I can profit from, but it doesn't feel like work? If I'm doing something, and it's like, oh man, I got to go clock in. I get off at X time. It's like if I feel like that, then I'm not really doing what I'm passionate about. You know,
Right.
so I say just when you're doing what you want to do, it's you have to be in rhythm. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like being on the court. When Steph Curry pull back and shoot that three, it's like he already came off rhythm off the dribble. You know,
Right.
so that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
It's so interesting too. Like, yeah, you're right too. I always say any shot in rhythm is a good shot.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's something about rhythm, and you made a point about when you're not doing what you're passionate about, and I feel like people when you're not doing what you're passionate about, I feel like people kind of try to start to find like escapes, like a lot of
Mhm.
it I feel like it's like doom scrolling, like, you know what I mean, people will start to doom scroll. And yeah, like, what are your thoughts around maintaining wellness to avoid those types of those types of escapes? Because I feel like we all have them, but right now I feel like a huge one is doom scrolling.
No, you're right. It's the doom scrolling. It's the food. It's the entertainment. Sometimes, it's like I could sit back and watch this movie. It's gonna be entertaining for about 2 hours, or I could take these 2 hours and go work on something that's gonna benefit me in the future. What am I gonna do? 90 to 95% of people they're gonna watch that entertainment movie. That's why these companies are $1 billion companies because that's what we living in. But it's like us, like being former athletes, being entrepreneurs, like of course you can have your fun from time to time, but it's like you said, having that system. I feel like a system isn't only for business, it's for your, like you said, your daily life too. Like
Yeah.
that can be a part of my system. If I did say I'm gonna take 2 hours for entertainment this week, once that 2 hours hit, why am I binge watching this and that and eating these meals that I didn't commit to? So it's kind of like it all goes back to that discipline. Like you have to be disciplined in anything you do. And this isn't just business, like this is anything in life. Without discipline, it's never gonna work. So yeah, that's why I'm so just grateful for sports. When you are younger, you have those tough coaches. Sometimes it's like, oh man, they tripping or
Right.
dang, like why they so
Right.
hard on me?
Right.
Even teachers is like, dang. But then it's like as you get older, you're like, okay, no, I'm glad they was hard on me. I'm glad certain things happened to put me through hardship. So now when I do have more responsibility, more things at stake, now I can know how to handle it. But if I didn't go through certain things, then I wouldn't know how to do it. So yeah, I would say that's the main thing. Like just knowing when to just stop sometimes. Like
Yeah.
or reset your system because we all have a system that we get out of sometimes. Nobody's
Right.
perfect. We're all going to get out of that system sometimes. So once you do get out of that system, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's draw up a new
Right.
system that's going to be more. convenient for us and take it to that next level.
Yeah, because I mean, ideally, your systems do the thinking for you, right? And so that when people come to my house, one thing that they always complain about is I don't have any snacks. I'm not. It's not even that I'm not a snacker. It's just what I'm trying to get to does not involve snacks. So the
Mm,
system decides for me, ain't no snacks. Ain't no snacks. So when I make when I go to make a grocery list, right? Because even sometimes you know how your mom could look in the refrigerator and you like ain't no food in here and she like well it's this we can make this and this and this right now that's the kind of stuff I use AI for right. My mom's on a different time zone. Cool. So I'll say okay boom this is what I got. This is my budget. This is the store I'm gonna go to. Give me a grocery list right? The output, right? If I didn't train the AI to understand what my systems are, right? This is the program we run in. It's a very strict program, right? Then it would shoot out to me things like cookies, right? Things that I love. I love a good Oreo, right? I love a good gelato with salted caramel and the little chocolate bits, right? But because it knows the system, it decides for me because I made that decision, right? When me and AI are getting to know each other and I'm like, hey, these are the things that I need you to know about me so that, we can have this healthy, happy relationship. Now when I go to interact with it, it knows not to give me certain things. It knows, hey, these are the things that you like, you don't like, here are the things you're allergic to, and here is something, right? That you can use. Now, the only thing that I have to be disciplined about is continuing to use this system because I know I have already gone within. I know what works with me. I know what doesn't. I know how my body responds to certain foods, certain beverages, whatever, right? I have to trust this system that I've built and go into it and know that it can make decisions for me even when I'm not feeling good, right? Because you like, dang, I done had a bad day. Let me get a little treat or something. Use the system that is in place. It does the thinking for me so that I don't have to go and be like, I mean, well, it didn't say not to, no, this is a very clear list, right? This is a very clear list, right? But I have taken out my decision making and put it into this system. And now the system can work for me. And also, even like, I tore my Achilles last year, right? So there were times where I needed my friends to go to the grocery store for me. So I sent them that same thread. It already has my decision making extracted. So now when I'm getting groceries every week, they know exactly what to bring. And I'm not feeling like, I mean, thank you for the groceries, but like, what's this? You have that feeling too with like your team. You try to delegate something, you're like, thank you. All right, what is this? You know what I mean? Why did you do it like that? But a lot of times it's because we didn't extract our decision making and put it into the system. And now people just doing stuff. You're like, wow, now I got double the work.
nah, you right. You right. Wow, you really dropping the sauce though. That's crazy. I didn't know about that one. You could
Oh yeah.
really, yeah, you
Listen.
gotta train. You gotta train it now because, yeah, like you said, sometimes we do need just somebody else really to just not put us in check, but to just make sure we are following the system because it's so easy. You might have that system and you go against one thing, and after you went against that one thing, sometimes your brain will try to play with you like you already skipped the workout this morning. Why not just go eat this? And then why not? And now you looking at the whole schedule, you like, I just went crazy on the whole schedule. So
Right.
like I said, nobody's perfect. That's why we do have to be more strict with these systems so we don't even have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And just honestly, I think the best thing that systems are for is reducing decision fatigue. To be
Hmm.
honest, like there's so many decisions that you make as a business owner. I think like I don't know if you've heard the phrase "I'm just a girl."
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of times I feel like that comes up in the context of decision fatigue and the hope that um in partnership in community that somebody can reduce the amount of decisions that we have to make But honestly, like you could do that same thing with systems in your own life. Like one reason that I went away from like the joy behind cooking is because there was so much I got to decide the groceries and the menu and all this stuff, and I haven't even got to the thing that's actually going to move the needle forward, right? Only the cooking is going to put the food into my stomach, but I'm already so I'm already so tired and decision fatigued from trying to decide what to eat and da 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 and all this stuff, right? Now I have a system that knows what I like, right? And so it reduces all of that decision fatigue, and now I can do the thing that actually moves the needle, right? It's the same in business. Like you're going to be so fatigued if you are making every single decision, and that feeling like, oh, I'm just a girl, I'm decision fatigued, like, right? Like one, I'm a girl's girl, but I'm moving away from that phrase because I'm absolutely a grown woman. And what makes me feel systems that I have to make decisions for me when I don't have the capacity. When I go into my gym at my house, the workout's already there. There's no deciding, right? There's no deciding. When I get my clothes washed and they come back and they're separated into workout clothes, conference clothes, and house clothes, it's very clear. You put them gym clothes right by the door. You actually cannot leave the room until you are dressed for the gym. Like the system has already decided for me, and it takes away all of that decision fatigue that you start to feel when you're a solo founder, when you're just getting into adulthood. This feeling that adulthood is ghetto, yes, 1000%. And but it doesn't have to be if you have systems that take decisions off of your plate. You take these decisions out of your head, you put them into a system, and that way, even on your lowest, I can't remember nothing. Oh, I'm starting to lose track of time. Oh, that there's already something there for you that has already made the decision for you, and it just makes life so much easier and so much more enjoyable for real.
Yeah, no, that's facts. And then, like you said, it's really more so about the organization too. So yeah, that's a great point. And I was also wondering, when did you realize hustle was no longer impressive and clarity matter more?
Man, hustle, you know, that used to be like such a point of praise. Like, Jasmine never gets out hustled. And I don't. I still don't, right? Like I said, like you're not gonna outwork me. But now it's more so because I work from a place where I'm centered versus just hustle, right? And I think the aha I think the aha for me was probably I think the aha was around my 28th birthday. Birthdays are an extremely reflective time. And when you're thinking that, you start to think about, well, what do I want? Right? This is if you're not thinking this every day, like my performance coach always asks me what I want now, but when he first asked me that, I had a really hard time answer. But birthdays, right? So when you start hearing, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And I had done all the things. Like the American dream checklist. I had gone to college. I got my master's. I played basketball in college. I played overseas, right? I got the job. I was working in big tech. I bought a house. I have the car, right? I have all of the things that you are supposed to have. Uh, can we cuss on here? Because I was about to say I busted
No,
my
don't
ass
care,
again, but
don't
then I
care,
was
don't
like,
care.
oh wait.
Don't cuss, don't cuss, don't cuss, don't cuss.
Okay, 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 okay.
Wait, but you could think of another
Right.
word
That's
though.
what I was
Go
like. Oh,
ahead, go
let me,
ahead,
let
go
me,
ahead.
let me.
Okay, go ahead. But I mean, it just
Okay,
depends.
okay,
Like
yeah. I
if
got.
you talking about like,
No, no, no. I got it. I got it. I got it.
okay, okay.
So I had all the things that I had hustled to get, but I didn't have the joy. I didn't have the whimsy, right? It didn't feel whimsical, right? It just felt kind of empty, right? And so that's when I'm thinking, okay. So I did the hustle thing and I didn't get what they said that you get when you hustle. So now what? I'm having this now what moment and realizing, okay, what needs to change? And I remember for that birthday in particular, I just went to the park and I played at the park with my friend. Um, this is like my best friend from high school. She flew out. She's like, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And I'm just like, I don't know. She's like, "It's okay. I'm gonna come anyway." And the day came, and we just spent the day in the park. We on the swing sets. We're playing tennis. You know what I mean? We're using the jungle gym, all the things, and that felt so much more joyful than all the things that I had accomplished through hustle. And that was like my aha moment that, like, okay, maybe hustle wasn't, maybe hustle doesn't work for me, right? I hadn't thought about, hustle culture as a whole yet, but I knew at that moment maybe this is not working for me because I've had more joy in this one day than I have in this decade pursuit of hustle to do the things that I was supposed to do. That was like my first like aha, like, wait a minute.
No, that's real because even just the whole American culture is kind of built on like hustle, hustle, pay bills, try to get this car, try to, you know what I'm saying? Like try to flex on
Survival.
social media. You know, it's kind of like something that's ingrained in people's minds on how we're supposed to live. But me, honestly, like I would rather just live a peaceful life and not have to worry about any of that. Like if I had the option, like, okay, here, Carl, you could have a billion users on your app and you could be a billionaire, this, that, but it's gonna come with this, that, and that. Or you could just have a million people on your app and they're all on your type of vibration. They all want to further their mental health and you can still live a peaceful lifestyle and move how you want to. I would rather just have that. You know, I don't need everything in the world if it's gonna come in between my peace at the end of the day. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. At the end of the day, that's all we really have in this life. All the material things, they come and go. But your
And
peace
I
of
and
mind, that's forever.
and I would honestly push you further and say that you don't have to choose. Like there really
Hmm.
is a world where you can have a billion users and your piece. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. I think that's another thing that we're like sold is that you have to choose. You know what I mean? Like, what's that trend that was they're a 10, but and then whatever. Like, nah, I don't participate in the would you rather have this or this. No, I want both. Okay, I want both, and both are achievable. And it starts with your belief that those things are achievable. Like I don't think I would have believed some years ago that I would be in Peru with one of my best friends and we both have businesses and we going to the beach after this. Like that was not some that was like a either or. Would you rather have a 9 to 5 that's stable and remote, or would you rather have your own business and be stuck in a dungeon? And I was like, dungeon? Oh, they're like, you start a business, you're not gonna have no friends, you're not gonna be able to do this, da 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 da. And I was just like, oh, I'm not sure if I want that then. And it made me like sabotage certain situations where I'm like, no, but actually, no, no, I really do I really do have time for business and dating and sports and hobbies and friends and my family and this and that, right? And my team and all the things, right? It's and how do we design our lives and how do we design our businesses, because we just be starting businesses, sometimes we don't design our businesses, but how do we design our business in a way that we can have both, we can have all, in the way that multiple things can be true, and not try to force our it's because it's like the setup is you want mental health you want good mental health, or do you want success? And it's like I think the things can coexist, like they don't have to be separate per se.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you. They definitely can coexist. I'm just saying it's certain things. Like I agree with you, but it's certain things in life that if you do take a certain route, it may affect your mental health if that's not the route you're really supposed to go on. Like you might have two deals on your table and one of them might be suiting to you and the other one might not. You know what I'm saying? The other one might be suiting, but at the same time, you might just know. what's best for you. That's all I was saying. But at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, at the end of the day, no matter what it is, you can always, you know what I'm saying? You can always take it to that next level. So I definitely love that point. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what it is, a million users, a billion users, we still need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves, and we still need a system in place, regardless if it's one user. We need a system
Right,
in place. You know, it don't
right.
matter. The numbers don't even matter when you start getting the bigger levels. It's more so about impact. So yeah, I definitely love that response. And so, but do you feel like people can feel when someone has competed at a high level? Like, let's say you just meeting somebody, like, can you feel if they compete at a high level or
Can I? Do I know?
yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Like I could just tell. I can tell when somebody's military. I can tell when they have an athletic background. Um, yeah, and yeah, like I can just tell. I think it's a certain it's like a certain swag to it, a certain confidence to it that you know. I don't know. I just feel like you can kind of tell. I mean, what like for you? How do you feel like sports has affected your confidence? Because I I feel like a lot of people are afraid of public speaking, for example. But like I've played in front of packed gyms before, so you know what I mean. Like, do you feel like you have like a certain swag that you walk around with? Like, is there a particular confidence that sports has given you in business that yeah, it's different from the average person? Let's say.
You tell me.
Listen, I just when
Nah,
really
I
that's real.
do. I
Real
do. I do.
recognize real. Like it just
Yeah, yeah.
it just is. It just is.
Nah, it is. Nah, like you said, you done played in packed out gyms. Like I done, like you said, I done played in packed out stadiums. Like, and I
Right.
like humbly speaking, 15 touchdowns my senior year. So it's kind of like you hearing your name was already being called before these pitch competitions. I was already hearing it, you know, just crossing the goal line
Right.
every time. But it's still just always staying humble, you know, like staying humble. Like you still like if I walk in the room, I'm not the loudest one. I'm not the
Right.
I might have on some nice clothes or a nice fit, but I'm not acting like I'm better than nobody. I'm just here to do what I got to do. But at the same time, like you said, it is just a certain way that you carry yourself and a certain confidence that comes
One
with that. Cause
thousand.
I'm, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm looking at my past, like when I played park ball, we were playing against like kids like 2, 3 years older than us. That was something to
Right.
be
Right.
possibly
Right.
quote unquote fearful about at the moment, but it's at the same
Right.
time it's like there is no fear. Like we all putting on the
Right.
same pads. They had to put on their cleats just like me. So I feel like that started with my mindset. And now it's like, okay, let's say I do have a pitch competition. I do have to pitch in front of these investors or this panel. It's thinking like, okay, I already done did this in the sports field. I'm just transferring it to another craft. And once
Yeah.
it's really about those reps. Once you get those reps in, it's just smooth sailing.
That is honestly what builds the confidence too, like the reps. Like I know that I've put in the reps, and playing sports you already know what the result of putting in reps is. So it's the same in business. Like the more reps I put into this, I'm gonna get better. Like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get better, and it encourages you to build the reps. So I think the confidence, yeah, like comes from that. Like yeah, I've put the work in. Yeah, actually. That feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared. That so rarely comes up for me anymore because I'm getting reps in. Like that's part of the system that I had is it have now is getting reps in every day. So when something comes up, the confidence is already there. Like it's just like, all right, cool, let's go. It's not a thing of like, oh, can I? I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I've already done this on a big stage multiple times. And now it's just like, all right, cool. Let's go. It's just another one.
Exactly. Kind of like these superstars. You'll see one day, oh, James Harden, LeBron James had 40 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But that next night they might only have 17 or 18. But
Mm-hmm.
both nights they slept the same. They slept the same both nights. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, for
if
real.
I do a pitch competition and they think I'm third place, I'm cool. That's what y'all think. In my head, I know. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm first. I do
Right,
the next one. They think I'm first place. Cool. I knew it, but y'all knew it too. But thank you. But both nights I felt the same. Like
right,
it's just having
right.
that strong mental that regardless of what the results are, I'm still sticking to my system. Whether it's a
Yeah,
yes, whether it's a no, stick to the
yeah.
system.
Another benefit of that is like we both play team sports. So there's nights where you have a great game and your team still loses. And there's times where you have a horrible game and your team wins. And it's just like, all right. You know what I mean? It's just like it happens sometimes. So I think that that also makes a pitch competition you get in third. The same people heard your pitch as the first place. Like you still won in some way, but it's like you remember those times where you can find the personal win in a loss, or you can find the team win in a bad night. Like these are just reps that I don't. I'm not saying that other people can't have them. I'm just not sure where they get them from. I don't know
Right.
the arena in which you can learn that so many times before you even graduate from high school.
Right. And it's also experience. I'd rather take certain experiences where I might not get the result I want, but I still have those experiences under my belt compared to I just never go out there and never try anything. Now I'm still at square one
Right.
because I ain't
One
even
thousand.
walk on stage. Like,
One
hmm?
thousand percent. Right.
Yeah, and you do have to be strong in sports and business. So I'm just wondering, what does strength look like for you now compared to when you played?
Ooh, strength. Strength before looked like lifting heavy. It looked like and one. It looked like pushing through mental fatigue. It looked like compartmentalizing a bad day to step on the court. It looked like putting myself last before my team because that's the definition of leadership that I had at the moment. Um, it looked like performance while ignoring my well-being. I got far doing that. And so I think like that's why like it had never popped into my head like, oh, maybe this isn't the way, right? Because I'm making progress that I can visually see. What strength looks like for me now, it still looks like lifting heavy. Um, but the difference is it looks a lot slower, right? It looks a lot like the strength to do the thing that I know brings me joy even when I don't feel like doing it. Like when I'm in a bad mood, I have my, are you in a bad mood? Yes or no? Be honest. Cool. If the answer is yes, here are 5 things that you can do that can instantly put you in a good mood. One of them is dance to an entire song start to finish. But when you're in a bad mood, you don't actually want to do that, right? This list of things that I know brings me joy, these are things that I write down when I'm on solo dates with myself. When I'm taking time to spend time with myself, to dig in, to figure out what brings Jasmine joy, what went well, what feels good. Now, this is when I'm making these lists. This is when I'm making these frameworks to remember these are the things that I like to do, right? It can be a thing where it's like, it's snowing outside. I don't want to leave the house, but it's solo date night. Get dressed. You may not have to leave the house, but get dressed. This is what you said you were going to do, right? Or you're not feeling it, but you know that dancing to a full song gets you in the right mind state to get you where you need to go. So, yes, turn on the song and stand up and move for the full 3 minutes and 43 seconds of this song, even though you don't feel like it, right? And so that those moments of deciding to push myself toward better energy, like that's the strength now. That's the strength to be like, oh, I could just sit here and just, like you said, I could turn on TV right now, right? I love watching. I don't watch TV very often, but there's specific 30-minute shows that I watch that I love that I'm like, if I get 15 minutes of this, I'll be good. I'll be good, right? 15 minutes turning into 3 hours. But I have this system that decides for me what are the things that are going to bring me joy. And when me choosing to do them despite my not so great attitude is what strength looks like now. Because after I finish dancing to a full song, I promise you, and also you have to dance as hard as you possibly can, right? These are somatic exercises at the core and at the root and all these things. We can get into all of that, but the point is that I know that this gets me to where I need to go, and I don't always feel like doing it, but it's going to get me to where now I can make a decision based off of more joy and abundance versus stagnation and like low energy. So definitely different now. It's not about brute force. It's not about um doing things despite. It's more so how can I move toward joy and create from joy and build from joy and build from abundance and build from a 8 or a 9 versus trying to go anyway through a 2 or a 3. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I mean we're not robots, so we're not going to
Right.
be in a great mood all the time. We can't be
Right.
programmed like that. But like you said, we can have certain outlets, healthy
Right.
routines that we can always go to uplift our mood, get us back in that mind space that we need to go to. So yeah, I love that you actually had those type of things going on throughout your day. That's definitely big. Hey man, y'all need to go ahead and tap in with Sis to win. Man, I don't want y'all out here losing now. But let's get into the non-business, the rapid fire questions, just to
Okay.
end things off these last couple of minutes. So what's something small that instantly gets your attention in a good way?
Something, anything that smells good, I'm immediately locked in.
What type of smells you like?
Well, for one, I'm a foodie at heart. People always tell me like, there's no way that you have this frame and you eat the way that you do. I trust me, that's part of the system too. I know my joys, so I know I gotta be on the other side too. But nah, like I'm very very interested in like smells also activate certain memories as well. So there's things that when you smell them, you'd be like, oh, this smells like something my mom used to make. Oh man, this reminds me of this and this and that. So a lot of my routines are also scent based. My perfumes are based on what I'm doing. I have a perfume called My Way. And so when I know I'm going into something where my confidence needs to be all the way up, then I'll put on My Way. And so even if I don't feel like that, it's like as soon as I smell it, it puts me in that mode. And so different things like that as well. And it goes the same like comfort foods and things like that. Certain smells trigger different modes for me.
That's lit. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, okay. Do you feel like people can feel your energy before you say a word?
1,000%. 1,000%. Because I'm actually wildly introverted. So when I go to networking events, I actually I pull the people toward me with energy versus sometimes being the one who walks up and is like, "Hi, I'm Jasmine." Like it takes me. I gotta warm up to that. But I feel like when I show up with good energy, the people who are matching that energy naturally gravitate toward me. So yeah, energy is huge.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Most of the times when you go places, the people that you supposed to connect with, most of the time, you guys will find each other. Some type of way it's gonna happen
Yeah,
if it was
one
meant to
thousand.
happen. So, what is your way to reset when your mind is full?
When my mind is full, dance to a full song. That's number one on my list. Because I need some sort of moving my body. So I need to go for a walk, or I need to dance to a song, or especially if it's cold outside, I'll just go and stand outside. I ain't into the ice bath regime yet, but I'll go and stand outside if it's snowing. If it's real cold outside, I'll go outside in the mornings, especially super cold walk, um, with no jacket. That really gets me like back into my zone.
Okay, okay, you lit. You got a whole plan for that.
You got listen. If you don't have any other plan, the next time you are in a good mood, the next time you take yourself on a solo date, that's the list that you need to write down. Because getting back to center, that's going to change your life, your personal and professional life. That's going to make your business soar to be able to get back to center as quickly as possible.
No, I like that because it's like you really practicing what you preach. Like you're not just on some. I have this system for business, but personal life, you know what I'm saying? It's not a system, but you have a system for both. That's what I really like about it.
Let me tell you something. I started a business that uses my favorite skills. Like not just the skills that I have, but the skills that I actually enjoy using. I'm a very if you I'm not home right now, but if somebody needed a nail file, I can tell them exactly where to find it because everything has a place. Everything has a home, everything has a system, everything is on a timer. All of these things help me in my personal life and I just realized that not every like in my mind I'm like, oh, this is normal, everybody does this. But once I started realizing not everybody does this, and once I started realizing also like this is a way to help you make so much more money in your business. This is a way to take decisions off your plate so you have more energy. This is the way to scale your business so that you can actually live a life that you really want to live. Not the I'm talking about the life that you be a little bit too ashamed to say that you actually want, right? The there will be signs type of lifestyle.
Mm.
Once I realized that the skills that I have and enjoy using, I can help other people and scale their businesses and scale their ideas and do the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's lit. Like, there's no, I don't have to switch to be a completely different person to run my business. Like, this is really like, this is how I live in real life. Like, this is my real life. I just happen to also do it in business. Okay, so now I want to ask you some rapid fire questions. Okay. So what is something that people notice about you as soon as they see you, like they don't even know your story yet? What's something that people notice about you?
I feel like they just notice my presence, like just in general, not like clothes wise or like what I got on, just more so the energy I bring to the room. I feel like I bring a unique type of energy and perspective to any room I go in. Like it could be Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Rick Ross, 50 Cent in the room. I feel like me being in that room is gonna be a different outcome from me not being in that room, even if I'm not a millionaire yet. Like that's really just how I really see myself. Anywhere I go, not in a cocky or arrogant way, more so in the like, I know I can think on that level type way. And I feel like that's what people recognize me. Like I done had friends that told me like, yo, I never met somebody that think like you. You know what I'm saying? Like just on some bro type stuff, like just telling me that. So when I'm hearing stuff like that, it just allows me to stay open minded, not try to be boxed in and things like that.
I love that so bad. Beach or mountains?
It really depends on the vibe. Cause I like both. I like both. Like when I was in Colorado, that was my first time ever. I'm on the highway, I can see the mountains. Like I'm feeling
So
like I'm in a movie or something. This is my first time seeing anything like this. But then again, the beach just has that water, the common sense, things like that. So I'm just gonna go back to your point earlier in the interview. I want both. I can't really choose one, but if it's summertime, I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach for the summer.
I love that. I love that. You're right. I literally, as soon as I asked it, I was like, ooh, I hope you don't choose. But you know what? You're right because it's time and place for everything. I love that.
No,
Okay. What habit do you feel like you gain from your athletic days that will just never leave you?
I would say preparation, like just preparing. I just can just remember game week. Workout schedule, lift at this time, watch film at this time. You know, just having to watch highlights at this time. Just having a certain schedule that you go by, that you incorporate into your whole season. You know, like, I'm not just doing this on Monday. I'm not just doing something on Tuesday. This is like literally my life. If I'm not sleeping, then I'm doing what I committed to. So I
Right.
feel like yeah, preparation and also just the dedication to it and just being ready for the big moment. You might be running a screenplay and you might think the average player might think, okay, I might get a first down. Like you that might be your touchdown play if the right
Right.
hold it right there. So it's kind of like just always staying ready, so you don't necessarily have to get ready because, like in the businesses we're in, you could wake up to $1 million email any day. You
Right.
know, just realistically speaking, if you're really
Right.
putting those actions out in the
Right.
universe, it could come at any time. So just being prepared for it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I had a question for you too. So if you could disappear to one place for a weekend right now, where would you go?
For a weekend.
Okay, for a week. For a week.
Okay, because that's two different answers. A weekend. I'm going to somewhere that has a white sandy beach for a weekend. And I'm not bringing any technology. If I'm going for a week, though, I am probably. I'm torn between going to Barcelona because that's so far my favorite city that I've been to. Oh, actually, I'm playing. If I have a week, I'm going to Morocco. Best food in the world, best food that I have had thus far, and I've had a lot of good food. I was going back and forth between Spain and Morocco, but a chicken tagine find me in every lifetime. Okay, yeah. So yeah, for a week, I'm going to Morocco to eat all of the things. For a weekend, I'm going to a place with a white sandy beach.
That's a great choice because I like sometimes when I'm working, I'll be watching different motivational videos, and that's one of the spots I'll be looking at. Sometimes Morocco, they be having like all the Lamborghinis out there, the nice scenery. So yeah, you'll definitely love that. But now we got the last question. Last question for the podcast. Been a great one. So, if someone is watching this and feels like they are between versions of themselves, what would you want them to hear right now? Like any type of motivation that you could give them.
If you are in between two versions of yourself, my advice to you would be to evaluate how you're spending your time and determine whether you are spending more time inside or out of yourself, right? I think a lot of times when we're in between versions of ourselves, we're thinking about what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And a lot of times those actions and those thoughts are so very outside of us. What I encourage you to do instead is to start dating yourself. Start dating yourself, start figuring out what truly brings you joy. Slow down. I know we have these all of these deadlines and timelines that we put on ourselves, but I want you to slow down, come back into your body, and I want you to think about the things that truly bring you joy, the things that you are truly curious about, all of those things that are with inside of your essence. And this doesn't have to, I'm not saying take a month off of work. I understand you got to pay your bills, you got to do all the things, right? But take 24 hours without technology. Find something, find a place where you can step away. You don't have to spend money to do this, but dig in deep within yourself and figure out what's bringing you joy. Start dating yourself. Start making that a consistent practice to figure out what truly brings you joy. Not what social media says, not what your parents are saying, not what your friends are saying. All of those things, forget all of those things. What is talking to you? And from there, that is the place where you build from. You don't build from outside of yourself. You create the blueprint from within you and then you bring it to fruition.
Motivational speaker. Hey, she not just a consultant, y'all. Stop playing with her now. Stop
This how I
playing.
talk to my clients. My clients know, listen, I'm like, hey, we losing the plot a little bit. We said we was doing this. We said we doing $1 million quarter. So let's lock in because what you're saying right now does not align to your $1 million quarter. Let me remind you who you are because those are the things that you need to build a sustainable business. Those are things you need to build your business. All of it starts from within you, and then you carry those practices to your business, and it's up from there.
Yep, definitely. I love that. Like you said, listen to that inner voice sometimes. There's so much noise out here and things like that, but that inner voice gonna always lead you the right way. Like you said, hey,
Absolutely.
I want to end it on that note. Some great responses. I feel like it's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that can learn. It's a lot of the gems that was dropped in this, and I appreciate you joining and taking the time out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was a great, hey man, great podcast, great show, great gems drop. But Jasmine, if you did have any on social media where the people can follow you or any upcoming announcements that you wanted to put out there, could you please do that?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I have written a book, and by the time this airs, it should be out. It is called Date Your Business, Build Systems to Fall in Love Again. Build systems that help you fall back in love with it one day at a time. This is perfect for any business owner who has had the courage to start your business and you're starting to build traction, but it's just getting to a point where it's just not that fun anymore, even though you're following all the advice, you're doing all the things, right? A lot of times my clients come to me and they are just like, I had this big vision and now it is just not fun anymore. I don't love it. This is the time to start dating your business. This is the time to fall back in love with your business. And I talk about how to build systems the right way that help you do this. It's a very counterintuitive approach. I know there's a ton of business advice out there, and I talk about why that business advice doesn't quite land because there's some things that are missing. So if you want to grab your copy, it is live now. You need to go to sistowin.com, and I'll also put the link in the bio. Or I'll put the link in the description. I'll give you the link so that everybody can access it. And yeah, we're on all platforms. And so, but make sure you grab your copy of the book. Right now, you can grab it at a discount, but the discount is only available. By the time you see this, probably only open for one more week. So make sure you grab it while it's at that price before the price goes up. And I hope that you enjoy the book. I want to hear what you think about the book. So send me a message on LinkedIn, send me a message on TikTok, tell me what you thought of the book, and I would love to talk with you about it.
Definitely. Please make sure y'all get that book. I'll definitely be buying it. I know it's gonna be some great gems in there. Stuff you can only find in the book. I mean, listen to her. She just dropped all these gems on y'all. The least y'all can do is go get the book, man. It's gonna definitely improve your lifestyle. Trust me.
Yeah, and I
But
ain't no gatekeeper. I'm gonna just give you the real. So yeah, I'm telling it all in there. So make sure you grab that. And yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much.
nah, definitely you're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show. It was a great conversation, you know. Always a pleasure to have you. Looking forward to seeing your book and just seeing everything you continue to do in the future.
Appreciate it. Likewise, likewise, likewise. If y'all are not already following MoveSpot, make sure you follow them on all platforms.
Definitely. Thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
You too.